Hi everybody, this is Timothy Zellmer here at Hotel Central Boquete and Live Free University. I'm here again with Helena, and today we're going to talk about migrating to Boquete. And we're both migrants, we're both expats, and Helena is here very recently.
Right.
Tell us about your story. What happened to you and how did you get to Boquete?
So to get to Boquete, I had to figure out first which country it was in. So that helps.
Panama. Republic of Panama.
Absolutely. So having figured that out, then it became a question of what type of visa was I going to need to either come and visit, or if I wanted to move here permanently.
So you had to choose a type.
Exactly. So to start with, of course, anybody who comes in from North America, Australia, Europe, you don't actually need a visa. You actually are granted a tourist visa where you can come in and stay up to 6 months, but then you have to leave. So the first time I came
in... And how long do you have to be out now? I heard that there's been a change in the law. Is it a month now you have to be?
That's correct. Yeah.
For 30 days and 30 nights is what I heard
correct.
somebody.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I came in on a tourist visa to start with.
First time,
so that was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made the ultimate decision, having visited here and stayed with Tim at Hotel Central, and he was an amazing host, kind of helped me, find my way around, introduced me to a local attorney who was here in town, and I went down and met with the gentleman, and we sat down and we talked about what visa options would be available. So there are several visa options that are available that you need to go through an attorney to go ahead and get. One of the most popular, which of course is here in Panama, is called the Pensionado. Now the Pensionado visa is designed for women who are over 55, men who are over 60.
I didn't know that.
Who can in fact get a letter from their either pension or annuity or Social Security that confirms that they do have a regular monthly income of over $1,000 per month. That's US.
I see.
So that's the Pensionado. And then the other one, which I'm the one who ended up going this way, it's called Friendly Nations Visa.
Yeah.
And Friendly Nations means I was able to go ahead and move here because I could confirm that I had sufficient funds to be able to live here comfortably without any support from the Panamanian government.
I see.
And that's what I ended up doing, was the actual it's called the Friendly Nations Visa. Now, what's interesting is because I am at retirement age, but I have not started taking my pension, is I actually do get all of the discounts that are available under the Pensionado effort, and that's called an Jubilado. And the Jubilado actually gives you discounts on things like airfare, restaurants, some retail operations, and it's phenomenal. I mean, even theaters, movie theaters, I mean, there's just like a whole list. And so, the visa process is actually very straightforward. And the gentleman that I was able to connect with through Tim, Juan Contreras, from Miranda and Contreras here in Boquete, he was exceptional. He literally steps you through each area that you need to go through and lets you know well in advance, even before you choose to migrate here, what you need.
I used him. Did you use his team that meets you at the bus or the airport to run you around Panama City? There's a point in the process you have to go
to Panama
to the
City.
capital.
That's correct.
And
That's
did
correct.
you use?
Yes.
Yeah, that is
and that
really
was all
very helpful.
included in the scenario. So he gives you a full service effort. He quotes the prices up front, so there's no surprises, so you know that. And when it came time to get my permanent visa, which I just got last week, it took me 4.5 months from start to finish to actually achieve this. But now I'm a permanent resident of Boquete.
So you're here forever.
Yeah.
Well, full reveal here. I did send her to Juan for a multitude of reasons, okay? His wife grew up with my oldest stepdaughter. They're like buddies. My wife held him as a baby. His mom and her grew up together, so they're really good buddies. He was my best man at my wedding to Fela. She's from here, so Juan and I are quite close, and for the big parties, they're at our house, and we're quite close with the family. But he allows me, when I have people staying in the hotel that I know that I can speak for a letter of reference and a referral that will get you about a $250 discount now, so you don't have to pay to start a file there. And that's $500 for a couple that you save right off the bat. So that's a good benefit. What I do is I write a short letter describing who you are, your numbers, passport, Social Security, and all that, and then I send that in hand and by email, and then he sees you and gives you some kind of a packet of information, kind of figure out in general what sort of visa. So there's more than meets the eye on this deal with Juan, but he makes me look good, so I keep using him. So that's the
and he speaks just really incredible English, which is a great help, when you're first starting out in this community.
I see. I see.
Good. And the only other thing I would mention, for those of you considering what's called the Friendly Nations visa, that is basically designed around what Panamanians call an investor visa. So in order for you to be able to achieve that,
you had to invest here?
No, I didn't actually invest. What
How did it work?
I had to open up a bank account and deposit $5,000 into the bank account whilst the actual visa was being processed.
And do they take that money in the end?
No, they don't.
When can you touch that money?
You can actually touch that money like 3 months after your visa is
I
issued.
see. So you're sort of investing. You got a company here.
Exactly.
I
I set up a corporation, have a company, which you can keep or not keep. I mean, they're very straightforward about the situation.
Okay.
So you don't need to do that if you're going for the pensionado. The pensionado is just proving that you have a consistent income and it's available for lifetime right now.
I see. Now, you had some documents and different types of documents in the process. Isn't the first one is like a permanent thing? It's like a sticky decal they put in your passport that they can peel out later.
So what
and
happens?
That starts it, then a card and another card. Tell us about that.
It's kind of a little different. So what happens is you go ahead and you complete all of the paperwork. First thing you have to do, of course, is make sure that you've got a proper FBI background check from whichever country you've come from.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Get that started before you even come.
And fingerprints.
And fingerprints is part of that. So you've got to get that clear to start with.
Okay.
Then when you come over here, or you can actually start filling out the paperwork, provide the information. If you're going to go with Friendly Nations, you have to physically come and open a bank account. Nobody can do it on your behalf. You personally have to be here.
I see.
So a lot of people actually make a sort of a short trip over here, open up a bank account, and then usually go back while they're waiting for it.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle had a problem with opening the bank. It was they were just past, I think it's 2 months old letters from the bank that you're in good standing, you're not doing overdrafts and that kind of stuff. And their paperwork was like 2 days too old, so they had to go back to the States and get another letter. So you don't want to do some of this out of sequence, and Juan really did.
And Juan steps you through everything. The one thing that you just have to keep in mind about all of this stuff is all of it has to be current. So for FBI checks, there's a time frame. For bank statements, there's a time frame. 30 days, 60 days, whatever. So the step is you go ahead and you get your FBI report done. You then basically open up a bank account. You complete the paperwork for them to go ahead and issue you with your temporary visa. Your temporary visa is then good for the next 6 months.
That's the hard plastic one?
That's the hard plastic one. And then simultaneously you ask them for a multi-entry visa. That's the one that goes into your passport. And again, that multi-entry visa allows you to come and go from Panama, if you choose to, without any issues at all, because you're already in the process.
Now, were you able to get in the short line for Panamanians at that point instead of the foreigner?
No.
At what point did that change for you?
That changes once you actually get your permanent visa.
I see.
Yes.
And that's what you hold now. I hold now. And do you have what they call an e-cedula?
No, e-cedula is the final effort.
Okay.
So the e-cedula is basically the equivalent of, in America, what we would call a Social Security card.
Yeah, and that's what I have now.
Yes. So you go through the process, you get your permanent visa, Then you apply for your e-scheduler, which once you've got your permanent visa takes about 45 days. That will require you to go back to Panama City. Juan's team picks you up from the airport.
I did that with Lourdes. The guy
Yes,
was on
exactly.
vacation, so I got to spend a
Yeah,
day
there
with
you go.
her.
Yeah.
I got really.
Lourdes,
She's a wonderful
amazing.
lady. It's
Yeah.
Juan's partner.
Yeah.
Lourdes Miranda is
Yeah.
actually like my wife's second cousin, or her mom is. Or, it's a very small village.
So that's that step. Is to get your your e-scheduler, as it's called. People call it scheduler. That makes you an Jubilado officially.
Yeah.
That's the term for it.
E is for extranjero, or foreigner, that you were foreign born.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the final process, of course, is getting your driver's license. Now, I will mention on driver's license, because this is one thing that catches expats out. You can only drive a car here initially when you come in as a tourist or on a temporary visa for 3 months maximum. You cannot constantly drive a car. If you get stopped, you're going to know about it. So
What happens then? you say, and then I'll tell my I'm an idiot
because the
story.
laws
Yeah,
are
yeah.
changing every day now,
Yeah.
so I'd highly recommend that you stick to that rule. Okay.
Yes.
3 months.
Don't be like
maximum.
Timmy,
Don't
yeah.
be a Timmy. yeah. Don't be a Timmy.
They have these traffic stops here. Sometimes they just pop up. There's two guys on a motorcycle, or the chief or somebody, and so they stop, ask everybody for their insurance, their passport if they're a foreigner,
Correct.
and or a permanent document. And for the guys like me, I was like 3 months and a day, and literally right here at the big boulder, like
Right.
100 meters from here. They towed away my car. They came. We waited for an hour to wait for one of these flatbeds. Towed
Yes.
my car up. It cost me just shy of $300
Correct.
for storage, towing, and the
Right,
fine.
right.
Don't be an idiot like me, because even now with the 6 month, and then you've got to be out for a month.
A month, correct.
You get fooled. You forget about that. You got a car now,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, I won't tell you the
Don't
guy's
do it.
name. He is
Yeah,
a buddy
don't
of
do
mine.
it. Okay.
He had it happen to him 3 times.
And the-
You don't want to be. He was actually stopped, and he was a little wound up to talk to the cop. Come on, let Timmy go.
What nobody told me when I first came to visit
Yeah.
is there's actually a checkpoint as you come into town.
Yes.
Do not freak out when you see the guys with submachine guns. They're
Yeah.
actually here for your protection.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was not prepared for that. Nobody had told me that was going to happen. You get very used to seeing the police around here with
Yeah.
guns. There's not a lot of people that own guns, which is great. It's actually for the protection. And here's good news. It was just announced last week that the current mayor of Boquete has now signed a contract. Boquete will be the third only district in the entire area of Panama to actually have downtown surveillance cameras, which are going to
Yeah.
be linked to the police. So
Yeah.
Boquete is very, very
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
And the reason you see bars on windows is it's a requirement under Panama law in order for you to be able to get insurance.
Yeah, it's pretty safe here.
So it's
It really is
incredibly
pretty-
safe, incredibly.
Yeah.
So your final step, and here it is before I bore you to tears, your final step is
Mm-hmm.
once you get your e-scheduler, or your scheduler as it's called, then
Mm-hmm.
you go ahead and get your permanent driver's license, which is done in David,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it, because your driver's license number is attached to your scheduler. If you go ahead and get a driving license before you
Do it
get your
second.
scheduler,
Yeah, do it second,
then
not
you will
first.
have to
yeah.
go back and do
Yeah.
it again because it's all tied
Yeah.
to that card.
Yeah, and I went to the embassy to get my Montana driver's license certified.
Right.
They have a process called apostilling,
Right.
where you end up with the document with like a round
It's the
brass
stamp. It's a
ring.
stamp, yeah.
It's a way to make it a certified document. At what point were you needing apostolized documents?
All the way down the line.
Yeah.
You get very used to having everything done. Panama has to certify it. The U.S. Embassy actually does come into Boquete
Yeah.
about every 3 to 4 months. So if it's within that process time, you can actually take your documents over there
Yeah.
for a nominal fee, and we're talking silly.
Yeah.
To get it all done.
I'm gonna need some notarization. I just
Right.
got a letter from them. They're very, very responsive. I
Absolutely.
asked them, when are you coming up next? You can just go online to find
Right.
U.S. Embassy Panama and send them an email. They're very, very good to help us
Yep,
up here.
exactly.
This is a special policing area, like she's saying, and the cops are super friendly, but they do look a little bit scary. People freak out. We have a security stop below us at the Caldera Cutoff, what is about 5 miles down.
Yeah. Yep.
So everybody gets stopped there, and like if you go river rafting, that if you're changing to a different province or a major area away, they'll have these stops. So you must have your passport
always make
with
sure
you
that you've
when
got-
you're
you've
traveling
got-
around the
Absolutely.
country.
Absolutely.
That is
Yes.
essential. You will get off the bus and go back to Boquete. You will not go river rafting.
Right.
So that's
Exactly.
it is a kind of a high security area. It's a tiny country,
Right.
and some of the neighboring countries have some security issues.
Right.
So we
Not
really
here.
are lucky to have the
Very
policing, the military,
Very
and security. Is there anything else you can think of about migrating here? Are you glad you did this?
Oh, absolutely.
Was I helpful
Yeah.
at all?
So, having come from high stress corporate America, where I came from,
Yeah.
okay, to actually come to Boquete, I watched my blood pressure drop by about 25 points in the first week.
Wow, that's excellent.
And now healthy as all get out, but we'll have more on that later on.
All righty. Well, this is Timothy Zellmer and Helena here at Hotel Central Boquete. Nice view, huh? Notice the hammocks. Like they say, it's cheaper than therapy and twice
is.
as effective. Right there.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time here from Hotel Central Boquete and Live Free University. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.